Hello and welcome. In this video, I'd like to show you the different components of a typical furnace, what they are, what they do, and we won't be doing any troubleshooting on the components. I just want to be able to have you identify each one. So we'll do close-ups of each component and what they do. But the troubleshooting will come in future videos, so definitely keep an eye out for those videos. But today we're just going to keep it simple, identify components. Okay, this part here is called the inducer motor assembly. Operates off of 120 volts, and it's basically your exhaust motor. So it'll take the exhaust gases from the furnace and send it outside through the vent pipe up through the ceiling or sidewall of the house. And this is the very first thing that comes on when you have a call for heat. Okay, so if this doesn't come on, then nothing is going to happen with the furnace at all. So the very first thing that comes on is this. It's connected to a hose that goes up to the pressure switch. And that pressure switch, when that inducer comes on, creates a vacuum through the hose, and the pressure switch closes and then sends a signal down to the furnace board, computer board, to go ahead and start the ignition process. So again, this is the very first thing that comes on, closes the pressure switch, which we're going to cover next. This is your pressure switch, and it is connected to the inducer motor via a hose. And the pressure switch, what it is a safety device. So the contact points are normally open. So when the inducer comes on, those points, the contact points close and send the signal down to the control board. But it is a safety device. For example, if the inducer motor doesn't come on, if it's seized, if the motor's bad, then it won't close that switch. So you don't want a furnace running without that inducer motor running. Another reason is the vent pipe. If that gets clogged up, now the vent pipe is connected to the inducer motor. So if that vent pipe is clogged, something like a mice nest, dead birds, squirrels, believe it or not, I've pulled those things out of vents. So that, again, the purpose of the pressure switch also is if that vent becomes blocked, then it'll prevent the furnace from operating. So it's just a safety device. Okay, this is the gas valve. It operates off of 24 volts, and this is what will open after your igniter comes on and glows red hot. This will open, shoot gas through the burners and ignite, and that's where your heat comes from. This one is actually a two-stage, so it has a high flame and it has a low flame that can both be adjusted to the appropriate gas pressures. But yeah, your gas valve, again, they look different in different models, but as long as you can identify it, you'll be able to troubleshoot it with the help of my future videos. We're gonna go over live troubleshooting of all these components. Okay, this is your hot surface igniter, and this component will glow red hot. And when the gas valve opens, shoots gas through the burners, this component is what ignites that gas. And that's where your heat comes from. Now these igniters, again, because of different models, they're going to look different. There's a large variety of those, but I'll show you some of those in my training video of troubleshooting these igniters. And that's really their only purpose, just to ignite the gas. This is your flame sensor, and its job is to do exactly that. It has to sense the flame in order for the furnace to keep running. So for example, if the hot surface igniter, if it's faulty and doesn't glow red hot, then it's not going to light the gas when the burner opens. So we don't want that gas just to keep pouring into the furnace. That'd be really, really bad news. So this flame sensor, if it doesn't sense that flame, it'll go ahead and shut the burner off. And that's its purpose, is to sense the flame. Once it does, it keeps the furnace going. This part is called your high temperature limit switch. And its job, its purpose, is to shut the gas valve off if the furnace gets too hot. A couple things that lead to that would be, for example, a really dirty clogged air filter. The air won't be able to get through the filter, therefore it kind of slows it down, and that furnace will get too hot, so this switch will just go ahead and shut the burner off as a safety. Another example, if your blower motor doesn't come on, if that malfunctions, the furnace will get too hot and this will shut that off as well. So there's many safety features in a furnace to prevent damage and for safety. This component is your rollout safety switch. Similar to the high temperature limit switch, except this one is for the flame. So just in case the flame rolls out backwards, this switch will sense that heat and shut it down. A couple of things that would cause that would be a clogged heat exchanger, clogged with soot, a crack or rusted heat exchanger. The flame will roll out backwards, and this will shut that burner down and prevent any further damage. This is what's called a transformer. So it'll take incoming 120 volts and step it down to 24 volts for the low voltage system. Your motors, they'll run off of 120 volts. The low voltage side would be your control board, pressure switch, the different limit switches. So that's what's called a step down transformer. And this is called your control board. It's basically the brains of the furnace. So it tells everything, when to come on, tells everything what to do, when to do it. And your thermostat wires are connected to that. So when your thermostat calls for heat, then it starts the furnace, starts the ignition and all that. It's got different relays on here for the inducer motor, blower motor. So the board tells everything in what order to come on. This is your door safety switch. So when your bottom panel is taken off the furnace, this switch will open and disconnect power to the furnace so that you can safely work on it. This little orange thing, that's just a thing I use to hold that switch closed when I'm testing or troubleshooting. And that's kind of it for the components. I want to show you a quick video now of the sequence of operation. So notice the inducer comes on first, and then the igniter comes on, gas valve opens, and then after a short time your blower motor will come on. So I just wanted to show you that video and just kind of show you how it does operate. Okay guys, hey, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. And like I said, if you can hit like and subscribe, this way you don't miss out on any of the diagnostic videos that I got coming out. We're going to be troubleshooting these components so that you can diagnose these things yourself, save you some money. And I again appreciate the views. Thanks a lot.